that leads us to the issue of training and education. When we actually look at training manuals of organizations around the world, I'm amazed. They're full of procedures. You can take the most motivated employees, and after 2 days of orientation, you just squeeze the passion out of them because you keep on going through procedures and procedures and procedures, and the message that they receive is stop thinking and follow the procedures. And then, of course, what's going to happen? They're going to take a call or going to visit a customer, and they're going to get the VIP customer, and he's going to be all upset, and you're going to rush to him and says, "What did you do?" And they'll open the manual on page 537, section 5, and show it to you. I followed the process. Process and procedures are all about controlling behavior. They are a control mechanism as opposed to empowering employees with the capabilities to make decisions, with the capabilities to actually go and say, now I know what to do, I understand the logic behind. Most of the training programs we have seen are all geared toward repeatability and high controlled mechanism as opposed to enabling employees to understand the situation and apply their logic and common sense and solve it for the customer. And you need to go back to the training manuals and ask yourself, are they empowering people or are they restricting people? Are they inspiring people to go and delight customers, or are they sending a message of stop thinking, we want you to follow the procedures? So let me share with you a story about education programs and how they work. I was flying on one of my favorite airlines, Virgin Atlantic Airways, on a flight from New York to London. It was a day flight. The moment they announced that we can use our laptops, I took mine out and started to work. The flight attendant came to me and she said, "Mr. Arussi, our entertainment system does not work. Would you like 10,000 miles to your account, or would you like 75 pounds worth of duty free?" I thought I was dreaming. It was out of this world. I said, "Are you sure?" She said, "Absolutely." And I said, "You know what? Let me have duty free." She handed me the catalog and I chose a whole bunch of cosmetics for my daughters at home and wanted to see what will happen next. And if I've ever seen Santa Claus in real life, not in the middle of the night, during Christmas, but in the summer, she was it. She was walking the aisles, handing people duty free. So I stood up, I went to the purser and I said, "Ma'am, is this your last day on the airline, or are you suicidal? What's going on here?" And she said to me, "Neither one." I said, "So what's going on? Is that in the manual? Are you authorized to do it? You're supposed to be selling this duty free." She said, "I know that. But here's what I also know. During the education program at Virgin Atlantic Airways, which is legendary by the way, we were taught that a single interaction on the call center will cost us 25 pounds even before the cost of resolution. We were also told what are the different cost margins between the different departments, the different classes on the airplane. And then we were told that if we give away miles, it's the best cost-effective resolution for customers. So here's what I did. For economy, I gave them 25 pounds of 3,000 miles. If they went with the miles, it's a complete wash. Even if they went with 25 pounds, I'm still saving money because the cost of resolution is being saved. For economy plus, I gave them 35 pounds or 5,000 miles because they paid more. I understand the margin difference. And for the first class, which in Virgin Atlantic is called upper class, I gave them 75 pounds or 10,000 miles. If they went with the miles, it's a complete saving for the airline. If they went with the 75 pounds, I still think that I'm ahead of what will be the cost of resolution if they would have called the call center after we landed. And I looked at her and I was absolutely amazed. She knew her numbers. She was empowered because she knew her numbers and she could justify her decision. By the way, it was very funny. If I've ever seen a happier flight with no entertainment for 6 hours, it was that flight. Probably the amount of alcohol that people also consumed, but do you understand? I mean, 6 hours, no entertainment, and people were happy. She took the problem, she owned it, she took care of it. And it started with the education program. Her education program did not just focus on procedures. It focused on educating her of what should be the experience, what are the costs, what are the tools available to her, and then she went ahead and she made a decision. Some of the things that we need to incorporate into our education programs, how do you say no gracefully? We sometimes need to say no to customers. We don't train our people to say no gracefully, so they say it in a very abrupt way and it annoys the customer. If we find a way to say it gracefully and explain it, they'll go for it. We need to create a culture of excellence that actually will bring employees and say, this is the new standard. And by the way, when it comes to excellence, it's a very abstract term. For different people, it will mean different things. We need to embrace stories and incorporate stories not only into the education program, but later on into every staff meeting to make sure that people understand how high we need them to take their performance and how to reach excellence. So education programs are different than training. Training is about controlled mechanism. Education is about providing them with the tool and the knowledge and the practice to go ahead and delight the customers.